So I was actually just thinking about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, having regrets. And I know I see all these posts on Facebook, and even in the Tony Robbins, he had his free 3-day thing a couple weeks ago. And they ask you, would you like to take $1 million, or would you like to go back and give yourself advice, change something, whatever it was? And so I've been seeing lots of these posts, like, would you red pill, blue pill, all these things. And the truth is, like, could I go back and change one thing in my life, or could I have $1 million? Like, give me the $1 million, hands down, any day of the week. Because it's that if we go back and change anything in our past, like that butterfly effect, no matter how small it is, but also if it's a regret, it's probably not that small. So it's going to change, completely alter our present. And if you are content with your life, if you like your life, if you like yourself, if you like things you have in your life, and that doesn't mean you have to like all of them right now, but if there are things in your life right now you love and you would never give up, whether it's pets, kids, partner, house, maybe you finally got your dream car, maybe whatever it is, maybe you just love your garden. Like, if there are things in your life you love, then you would never go back and change anything in your past, because that would alter today. We just have no idea what our present would look like if we changed anything in our past. And that's kind of the basis of getting rid of regrets. Because if you regret something, that means, like, literally, almost by definition, you would like to change it. You regret doing that, as in you wouldn't have done it if you could go back. You regret that happened, as in you would try and alter it, if you could. Right? So again, I mean, if you guys really truly, you're watching this and you really hate your life, maybe fair enough. Maybe book a call with me. We could talk about that. But usually, almost every single person has at least something they love in their life, something they would never choose to give up. So if you have even one of these things, a kid, a partner, something, you shouldn't have any regrets, because you wouldn't have what you have today. So having said that, it is a bit trickier to like get rid of the feelings of regret. I shouldn't say trickier, that's a poor choice of words. It's just takes a little more effort, that's all. But that's the basis. If you're happy with your life today, you don't have regrets from yesterday. The other thing that I think too is there's usually things in our lives that we could improve, we would like to make better, we wish that this wasn't what it was. And that's everybody though. That doesn't mean, it's regret in your life. That doesn't mean it's bad. Everybody has things they would change, but that's the beauty of life. Okay, so change them. Sorry, I've got like something going on in the eyeball here. What can you do today to make tomorrow better? Or what are you going to do if there's that problem? You want to change this, whether it's losing weight, you wish you wanted to replace a window or something, or you want to build a deck. Like, who knows what it is in your life you want to change. You want to maybe have the confidence to cut off a toxic person in your life, whatever it is. There are steps you can take to achieve what you want. So even if it's replacing a window, building a deck, things that involve money, okay, let's brainstorm the problem. I need more money. Let's solve it. So then you go into the brainstorm and you think of, how can I make more money? Maybe you pick up a side job. Maybe you work more hours. You get some overtime. Like, there's always a solution. Every problem has a solution. Like, literally, there is a solution. We just have to be open to finding out what that solution is, and then open to doing it. So, if you really truly want to replace the window, and you really, literally you need to make more money, are you open to getting maybe a summer job, a seasonal job, just a second job? Maybe are you open to selling some things in your attic or your basement or your garage you haven't touched in 20 years. Like, how can you make that money? And are you willing to do what it takes to get that money? Right? But you can solve this problem. So everything can be attained. It's just having the drive, having the will to actually go and do and get it. Right? So that's like, if there's things that you're unhappy with, how are you going to fix it? Right? But having the regrets, that's baggage, that's having that weight attached to you. You know, you're walking through sand, you're on the beach with a ball and chain attached to you, just dragging this negativity around with you, right? It's the same if you watch my forgiveness video, same sort of thing, just a different kind of weight, but it's just baggage. It's more baggage you're carrying with you. So a lot of these sorts of principles, if you have watched my forgiveness video, it's very, very similar to that, except there's nothing to forgive. It's just accepting what it was. So that brings us to having the regrets, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Whatever has happened in your past, it's done. I mean, maybe somebody out there has a time machine. I do not. I'm going to guess you do not. So what's done is done. Like, it just is. There's no going back. There is no changing it. So sitting there, dwelling, thinking about it, for what? You know, playing out what you do differently, for what? What comes of that? It's literally a waste of time and energy, and sitting there dwelling on negative things, what you consider negative that's happened in your past. It's literally, you know, your little own personal happiness vampire. There's no way you can be thinking positive thoughts and being happy and enjoying something and being in this happy, positive state, loving life, if you're sitting there, you know, regretting, playing out these negative situations, having these negative feelings, right? So this is where, you know, similar to that forgiveness, where we want to look back and whatever regrets we have, first of all, acknowledge it's already done. You can't change it. So let it go. Like, how many times have we heard this in life? We've heard it in movies. We've seen it. Like, that phrase is out there for a reason. Let it go. What's done is done. Right? But then what you want to do is you want to look back at that situation, because obviously there's negative feelings involved with it. So we want to get rid of those negative feelings. Now, personally, if you've watched any of my stuff, if you follow me at all, write it down. Everything is paper, pencil, write it down. But you want to go over that situation, write it down. And you want to find, because there is a positive to everything, or a lesson, there is something good that has come out of that. Whatever has happened, doesn't matter. There is a lesson there to be learned, right? Or something positive, or something that helps shape us or drive us to something good that happened. So it's going, this is where the writing is particularly handy. So you want to write out the entire story, that entire scenario event that happened, and you want to read it. And then you kind of almost detach from it a little bit, reread it, and then pick out what's a positive, how did this impact you in a good way? Is there a lesson to take away from it? Right? Like, for myself, there was one where, anyway, college days, we're in the bar and I drank way too much, and then I ended up doing something silly. What is my lesson? Don't drink so much. Like, come on, you behave foolishly, you are young and dumb, like, do not drink that much, right? And in the moment you think, oh my God, it's so embarrassing, it's the worst thing ever. No, nobody really cares. Maybe you guys all laugh together, whatever, but at the end of the day, there are two basic things I always live by. Is number one, people are on their devices. People are so self-involved right now. Everyone's in their own personal little bubble. And I've been saying this for years. You know, I joke about it with my boyfriend where if an event, a situation, if something doesn't ripple or poke someone's bubble, they're oblivious to it and they do not care. It has to affect them. That is how, I'm going to say, I guess selfish is kind of, but just self-absorbed people have become in today's world. Everyone's on a device, everyone's, FOMO, and it doesn't literally affect them. They don't care. So they're not going to care. And if they are the type of person, this is the second one, if they are the type of person that gossips, they do care, they love to, talk and spread rumor, those people are either going to make something up about you if they really want to gossip about you. So it doesn't matter if you actually do something or not. And second of all, those people need fresh gossip. So you're going to be old news in like a day or less. They always have to have something new to gossip about. They always have to have something new to talk about. That's just who they are as people. So it's truly not a big deal because they're going to be on to the next, they saw someone trip on the sidewalk the other day walking their dog, ha ha ha, like whatever it might be. I think it's a bunch of foolishness. I think we can better spend our time for sure. And actually, I will add a little side note for people like that, people who gossip, people who laugh, people who are mean, like the mean girls in school. Honestly, that has nothing to do with you. We're all humans. We all, I remember in college talking with my friend, and I literally fell in a hole because I was looking at my friend when I was talking to her. I literally walked into a hole because we were planting a tree, apparently. We all do silly things, trip on the stone we didn't see. It doesn't matter. We all make mistakes. We all do silly things. We all have embarrassing moments. You need to choose to see it as embarrassing for it to be embarrassing, right? But nobody's perfect. We all do things. It's no big deal. But those people that make it a big deal, that reflects on them. That's a them problem, right? That doesn't say anything about you. That says about them. That says what kind of personality they have. That says, the values they have. That just speaks to their personality, that they would gossip and they would laugh and they would make fun of another human who had a moment. So do not let those people bother you, which to some extent is easier said than done. But if you do have a problem with this, I highly recommend it's time to work on your confidence and your self-worth, because when you are a confident person and you love yourself wholly and you have all the self-worth in the world, you could trip and fall down a hill. You're not going to care who saw it because you're just like, oh crap, that just happened. But these things, these comments, these looks, they don't affect you because you're worth more than that. You have, I don't want to say you're better than that because that's not the right word, but yeah, your value as a person is worth more than giving into what some immature person is saying or laughing or whatever. You just don't let it bother you, right? So that's just a little side note. But yeah, you go back to the regrets, you go back to the situations, and this is even for things that might happen in your future. You don't quite have that confidence yet, you still get embarrassed, you still, oh, I wish that didn't happen. Go back, okay, what did we learn? For myself, again, I'm talking with my friend, not watching where I'm going, I fall in a hole. I should probably watch where I'm going. Lesson learned, look where you're going. Make sure there's no giant holes in front of you, right? And then you just get up, like, I got up, I got out, I dusted myself off, and I carried on. Like, it's done, it's good, we're all, So it's that, write it down, go through the story, pick the positives, find the lesson, and learn and let go of that negativity. You want to reread that and you want to read the positives and you want to go through that enough times. The goal is to have that situation and you'll be able to think back on it and have neutral feelings or have a positive feeling like, oh, that could have been, oh, I'm so glad only that happened. It could have been worse. You know what? I'm glad that happened because I learned XYZ, which prevented this from happening. And slowly you want to go through, if there's big events, like big regrets that you really cling on to, not little things you have to like sit there and think about, oh, is there something I really regret in my past? And, if you can think of your past and just feel like neutral or happy or appreciative, like all these positive feelings, to know that everything had to happen to get you to where you are today, to be who you are today, which is a beautiful person in a beautiful place with a wonderful life that you appreciate. And honestly, like, we've all had nasty things happen to us. We've all had traumas, and like even my life, like, both my parents immigrated. So in Canada, I didn't have a ton of family, but literally my mom and my brother are the only ones left alive. Like, everyone else has died. So, whether it's lots of death in your family, those traumatic experiences, whatever it might be, we've all had our fair share of traumas, of darkness, of things that have happened to us. But then I think, okay, and again, for us to learn lessons, to strengthen us, to teach us, to help us grow, whatever it might be. My point is, we can know that where we are is where we're supposed to be, in a beautiful place. If we're unhappy or we want things in our life to change, make plans, take actions. What are you going to do to get those goals, to reach those changes, to make them happen, because it's possible? And to look back in your past and just know it's all to bring you here. And we have no regrets, because to regret the past is to not like our present, right? It's kind of like, if you guys have been watching my videos and you kind of see how this all ties together. There's a lot, like, it's all encompassing. And even this, again, it's super similar to that forgiveness. We're not forgiving someone in this situation. We're just coming to terms with what happened. And we kind of need to accept it. What's our lessons to pull from it? And then get over it, right? So this works. Anything you have in your past, which you have a negative attachment to, you think back and you feel, or you get like, or whatever, that's a situation we want to deal with. We want to be able to think of our past and just appreciate and know that it brought us here. I hope this makes sense, guys. I really, I hope I explained it well enough. I know sometimes I get off on little tangents and stuff, but yeah, I hope this makes lots of sense. And I'm going to try and say this every video. I don't say it enough. Push the little like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends, even better, get them to subscribe and like it. And I really hope this helps, guys. This is a pretty big one, to really just come to be in your own today, to another step towards loving yourself as you are, who you are, loving your life, choosing to love and be happy, and the perspective, right? Because it's all how we choose to see it, our perspectives, and really choosing to be happy and appreciate and enjoy. Yeah, all those wonderful things. All right, guys, that's enough out of me. I will see you in the next one.